Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor, and today I'm in the midst of a National Spelling Bee champion, Jim Sherry, a professor here at the university, but as I mentioned, Spelling Bee champ. Thanks for joining me here today.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
And recently you've won a National Spelling Bee. Tell us a little about your national championship here.
Well, it occurred on the 3rd of March in Long Beach, California. There were 32 contestants. And we went for 3 hours, and when it was all over, I was the last person standing. So it was a lot of fun. To take a trip to the West Coast in the middle of the term is a bit, tiring or whatever. But I've been gearing up for this now. It's the 4th time I've competed, and I'd been 9th and 7th and 5th, and this time the gods were with me. Sorry, the great gods of spelling were with me this time somehow or other.
Now I guess the question that everyone out there is thinking about is, what was the word that won it for you?
Okay. The word quincunx, Q-U-I-N-C-U-N-X, which is an unusual word, strange looking,
I've never heard
sounding,
of it before.
And it's, if you can imagine a rectangle or a square with 5 dots in it. Think of a die for a pair of dice. And they're set sort of 4 at each ends and 1 in the middle. It goes back to Roman times, actually, the word. And I'd heard that before, way back in the 50s, when I participated as a 13-year-old in the national contest in Washington, representing Indiana. So the word was, it was so strange that I couldn't miss it.
It got stuck in the head.
Yeah, although there's a moment of real worry when you're waiting, because you know that the contestant who's left with you, the runner-up, has made a mistake. And that it's all now coming down to one, if I know the next word on the list, and I keep my wits about me and I don't misspeak, and you stay calm. That's the main thing. I was able to do it.
And you mentioned you've been doing this since you were 13?
But at the age of 13, I won the Indiana State Championship, and I represented the state of Indiana in Washington at the famous Scripps Howard contest that we see on TV. It's on ESPN now, and every year, end of May, beginning of June. Much more difficult now than it was back in those days. But yeah, and so, but after that, your eligibility expires when you're 15. So you just go on, you study language, you become a language professor, but the word thing is always out there. You enjoy it, and if you enjoy being with other people who are sort of wordsmith type people, then this is what happens. And then I just discovered by chance, I was surfing the net one day. This was in 2009. I found out, well, in Wyoming they have a national adult spelling contest. And also then I found out about the one in California. And I said, well, why not? What have I got to lose? Just give it a run, And so I've been doing it for the last 5 years. And I've placed 5th in the one in Wyoming. Hope to go and maybe win that and do a back-to-back. That's been done a couple of times, but it's not easy because these are good people. They're hard work. They're fun. They're enjoyable. We party afterwards. They took me through the streets of Long Beach like a hero, and bought me a great spaghetti dinner there at a little restaurant there, and just. So, I like that place very much, I would say. Naturally, I would.
But now you're headed to Wyoming to try it again.
In July 13th, I'll go, and that is different in that it's both written and oral. There's a 100-word oral written competition, and then the top 15, from usually among 50 or 60 contestants, the top 15 go on stage. And there are no easy rounds there. There are no preliminary rounds. It's just nasty from the beginning.
So you're right into it.
So last year, and you're allowed 2 mistakes. It's 2 strikes. There used to be 3 strikes and you're out, but people got 2. The contests were too long. So they cut it down to 2. And last year, with the 2 strikes, I get to the 12th round with words that are just, I can hardly say them myself, but I knew how to spell them at least. They don't ask you to say them real nicely, but
you have to
spell them.
Yes. And so looking forward to the possibility of having a repeat there and be a 2-time National Spelling Bee champ.
Back to back, then what I would say is I would no longer compete in the Wyoming contest because I want other people to have the same kind of pleasure that I have from that. And also in Long Beach, I wouldn't mind maybe being a pronouncer sometime if they would invite me to do that, maybe for one of the contests. But it's hard to... I would miss meeting with the people, enjoying the time we have together, because we're from all different kind of professions, and we just have a very good time together. But it is, on the other hand, very challenging, and I work at it. I have a student each year that I hire. Since I do these trips to France in the summertime, I find someone who needs some financial assistance.
There you go.
You can do that. And I said, okay, now if you'll come to my office for 200 hours during the whole academic year. I'll pay for all your expenses for Paris. Good deal for them, good deal for me, and good deal for them in another sense in that they expand their vocabularies tremendously.
And maybe they'll learn some of these words and compete themselves.
That's the idea. For me, pharmaceutical words and medical words are difficult because that's science is not my natural area, so I have to work, but I know that now. So I'm really concentrating on that for this year to get those down.
Well, good luck in Wyoming, and thanks for joining us today. And hopefully we'll talk to you for being a back-to-back champion.
Well, that would be nice. And Aaron, I thank you very much for.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.